Franklin with the California Army National Guard, and today we have a special treat for you. We actually have Lieutenant Fresca here with us, and he's going to be going over ROTC and the different type of scholarships that you can get with joining the National Guard. This video is specifically for the areas of the High Desert and Antelope Valley High Schools, for our instructors in those high schools, and also for our principals. You guys can give out this information to your students who are looking to graduate, and for also the juniors that are getting ready to go into their senior year, so they can know which path they can take, what college degrees they can look forward to, and the different types of degrees that we actually cover along with our plans. Lieutenant Fresca, it's good to meet you, sir.
Pleasure.
If you can just give us a quick overview of what you do and what you're in charge of.
Yeah, absolutely. So my primary role, my official title is what's considered an officer strength manager. So in basic terms, I'm an officer's recruiter. So exactly what I do is I work with the enlisted recruiters like yourselves with bringing in qualified individuals to either go through ROTC, OCS, or even officers who are coming from active duty, all that sort of stuff. So really, I focus on making sure that these individuals are able to make it through and become officers ultimately in their career.
Okay. All right, guys. So if you're looking into getting into the military, specifically the Army National Guard, you're looking into becoming an officer, this is the route that you want to go, okay? We have a couple questions we're going to be asking today just to kind of touch those most asked questions that we as recruiters get. Like I said, we have our subject matter expert here with us today, and we can go over and field those questions for you. I have my colleagues here with me, and they're going to be going over these questions for you.
I'm Staff Sergeant Baez, and I cover the Victorville, Lucerne Valley, and Phelan area. And for Lieutenant Fresca, for the High Desert students that are currently in their senior year or have already graduated high school that have never heard of the ROTC program, could you give us a quick overview of what that program is like?
Yeah, absolutely. So I know a lot of people don't understand what ROTC is, but ROTC, what it stands for is the Reserve Officer Training Corps. So in the Army, we have various ways to earn a commission, which is your way to become an officer. So you have different ways, such as the military academies, such as West Point, the Navy Academy, all that stuff. You also have what's called Officer Candidate School, and those are mostly for applicants who are already in the National Guard, who are a little bit older and not in high school. And then you have ROTC, which, like I said, is the Reserve Officer Training Corps. ROTC in itself is a college program. So the primary focus is for these students to come into college and simultaneously, while they're getting their degree, they're training to become an officer in one of the Army components, whether it's the Army Reserve, active duty, or the Army National Guard. So with ROTC, like I said, it's a program that takes place during your college education. So with it, you're going to be taking classes, you'll be doing physical fitness in the mornings, you'll be doing labs, teaching you ways how to become an Army officer, some of the skills, the leadership abilities, and then on top of that, they'll teach you the discipline, they'll send you to training, and there's a lot of valuable assets that you'll learn through ROTC.
Oh, wow, that's great. Also, I do have a question. Many of them are probably thinking the same question. Do these courses interfere with their ultimate career path? So if they're studying, for a bachelor's degree in nursing or whatever they're looking for, does it interfere with that? Or
So
no?
it won't interfere at all.
Okay.
As I said before, it is something that's going to happen simultaneously.
Okay.
So for the most part, you will be taking ROTC classes. And like I said, you'll have one class a week, and then you'll also have one lab a week, along with PT in the mornings, which the PT typically, it won't interfere with the classes. And then as for the lab and the other class, they will work around your college schedule in order to make sure that you can show up to that class.
Do they get credit for those
They do,
courses? Okay.
correct.
Awesome.
So, and they'll get a grade, they'll get credit, it'll help out their GPA, all that sort of stuff.
Okay. And what would be the basic requirements, I want to say, to qualify to come into the ROTC program for a scholarship?
So the main thing to earn a scholarship, and that's something we'll delve into a little bit more with the specific scholarship opportunities, but in order to come into ROTC, you have to maintain at least a 2.5 GPA while you're in college. For the scholarships, you need to have at least 1,000 SAT or a 19 ACT. as well as have a 2.5 GPA from high school. You need to be accepted into a four-year university, and unfortunately, the community colleges don't count for that. So you can go to a community college for your first 2 years, and then transfer to a four-year university for your remaining 2 years, and still do ROTC.
It's great, so great opportunity.
I have a question, sir. I'm about starting first class logo, and my areas of coverage are Apple Valley, Hesperia, and Oak Hills. But speaking of scholarships, sir, with the school closures, and the career centers are not operational in the sense that they can talk one-on-one with their career counselors, when should a student start applying for scholarships, and how would they do it? Is it online, through the National Guard?
So how the application for the scholarship is actually going to be between yourself and me. So the applicants will come to us and say, hey, I'm interested in receiving a scholarship. And then from there, yourself and the applicant will work with me and we'll work on trying to secure a scholarship.
Okay.
So when to actually work on doing that application, I would say a few months prior to them starting college. So once they get their college acceptance letter, which is one of the requirements that we'll need, they can start working with us so we can try to secure them one of those scholarships.
So you say roughly a couple of months before they start college. Now, what if they're high school juniors? Can high school juniors take advantage of the ROTC scholarships, or do they have to be a senior that's about to graduate?
So unfortunately, they do have to be a senior ready to graduate. So they do have to have that acceptance letter to one of those universities in order to receive that college.
But they can always apply for a scholarship later on.
Correct.
If they're juniors and let's say they joined the National Guard, they don't quite qualify right now as a ROTC. Their senior year, they can
Yep.
always apply for ROTC.
Exactly.
Regardless, okay.
They can.
Okay. And what types of scholarships are available, sir?
So we have what's called a four-year scholarship, which will cover your full tuition and fees or your room and board up to $10,000. So there's that option.
Okay.
Additionally, with that, we also have what's called a three-year advanced designee scholarship, which still requires you to have 4 years of college, but the first year of school, when you're in ROTC, will serve as almost like a trial year in a sense.
Okay.
Then once you get contracted into ROTC, then starting your sophomore year, you will start receiving your scholarship, which again will cover full tuition and fees regardless of the amount. So you can go to a school that costs $50,000 a year, which after 3 or 4 years can be up to $200,000. So that's one of the ways. Or if, let's say, their tuition and fees is less than their cost of room and board, they can take the room and board up to $10,000.
So they have that option.
They do have that
Okay.
option.
Now, can they switch that option anytime, or is it once it's in the
No.
contract, it's in there?
So once they have it in their contract, that's the
That's
way
what
that
they
they
do.
would have
Okay.
to go.
But I have one last question about that, sir. You say it pays for tuition.
Yes, correct.
Do they have to be affiliated with that college? A university that, let's say, has ROTC, but they don't have enough. They don't have enough to get into that actual college, so they have to go to a junior college first. Can they still do that? ROTC?
Unfortunately, the junior colleges, they're not, you have to be a full-time student at a four-year university.
Okay.
Now, let's say you go to a university outside of one of the colleges with an ROTC program, such as, so for myself, I went to the University of Redlands. We didn't have a ROTC there, whereas Cal State San Bernardino did have a program. So I was able, my school had a contract with Cal State San Bernardino,
Okay.
where I was able to take classes over there, which included the ROTC classes, and be able to participate in the program that way. And
So your
ultimately
main
earn my commission.
Your main coursework was at University of Redlands.
Yep.
And ROTC was at Cal State.
Exactly.
It did everything coincided, everything meshed.
Yep.
Okay.
Correct.
Perfect.
Okay. Another question that I had, sir, there's kids wondering if they can still do this program even if they transfer outside of state. Is this something that they can do?
They can. So, and with regards to scholarships, we can actually still get them scholarships, and they can go out to any school that they want, as long as the school has an ROTC program. So I actually just got a scholarship for a student, a high school student who's going to Hawaii for her school. We got her a four-year scholarship, which will cover her full tuition and fees, which for her, I believe, is going to be about $150,000 at that school. So,
All right, that's great. All right, so there you have it, guys. If you're thinking about going to college and you're thinking about furthering your career, getting that higher education, there are avenues for you, specifically with the National Guard, that enables you to get that degree and also go on the officer path. If you need more information, you can reach out to us here at Team Desert on our Instagram page and also High Desert, our Facebook page. If you have any questions, please leave them in our comment section or PM or DM us, and we will be more than happy to get those questions answered for you. Sir, thank you again for answering those questions for us.
Thank you.
It's good to have you here. Thanks, guys. To my educators, again, this information is for you to be able to facilitate and better give resources to the kids that need college, that aren't able to pay for college themselves. If they're looking for ways out of their area, specifically, again, we do have kids that want to travel. They can always join the National Guard, get their scholarships, go that route. Yourselves, if you have any more questions, I will leave information at the bottom of this video, and you guys can reach us at any given time. Thanks again for your time.